Hi guys, my name is Lexi. I'm the Discovery on Wheels educator at Discovery Children's Museum here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today I want to introduce you to one of my unique pets, my leopard gecko, Flea, right behind me right here. So leopard geckos are native to the desert Middle East, areas like Afghanistan, Iran, and even a little bit of eastern India. But it's been a really long time since any pet leopard gecko has lived in the wild. These guys have been kept as pets for about 30 years now, which lets us do some pretty cool stuff with their colors. Normal leopard geckos are named because they have black spots on their back, and you can see a couple of pinkish purple spots on Flea's back, but he's actually an albino leopard gecko. There's a lot of other really cool colors of leopard gecko too. There's orange and pure white, just based on whatever colors breeders have been working on putting into these guys. Leopard geckos also have to shed their skin every, I would say, 2 weeks or so. And you can see on the top of Flea's head and a little bit over his eye, he still has a little bit of skin stuck to him from his last shed. Instead of losing skin gradually like humans do while we grow, these guys lose all of their skin in one big sheet. And they actually eat that skin that falls off of them. We're not quite sure why they do that. It might be to get the nutrients back from that skin, or it might be so they don't leave a trace for predators to find them by. So you can see this thermometer on the back of Flea's tank here. For leopard geckos, because they live in a desert environment, it's very important to keep the temperature between 80 and 82 degrees. But leopard geckos also need a hot spot because they're ectothermic. They need heat from the environment to digest their food. So I have this little thermometer right here to make sure his hot spot stays about 90 degrees. And we can see he's actually resting on his hot spot right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up his hide. Sorry to disturb you, buddy. Because I want to show you something pretty neat about his tail. Leopard geckos can actually drop their tail if they get scared to create a distraction for predators. This can also happen if he gets too scared when I pick him up, so I avoid picking him up unless it's an absolute emergency. But leopard geckos can actually regenerate parts of their tail too. When Flea was little, he was attacked by some of the other little geckos in his tank with him, and they bit off the very tip of his tail. If I get the camera at just the right angle, you can see it curves a little weird from the rest of his tail. But he actually regenerated just that little tip of that tail right there. Leopard geckos are insectivores, meaning they like to eat insects. And leopard geckos have a tendency to be pretty picky in liking live insects. So I try to feed him a good variety of different insects every week. I feed him cockroaches, crickets, mealworms, and calciworms, which have a lot of calcium. Calcium is really important for reptiles, so I use this calcium dust to add to his food to make sure he's getting enough of that calcium. And here we can take a look at some of those mealworms I've been feeding him this week. They're pretty gross looking, but he seems to love them, so they must taste pretty good. I would consider leopard geckos a pretty awesome beginner pet. Once you have their environment set up pretty well, they're very easy to take care of. You only have to clean their cage about once a week, and adults eat about once every other day, maybe even every 2 or 3 days if they're in shed. They don't usually like to eat while they're shedding. And given proper care, leopard geckos can live about 10 to 15 years. There's even a leopard gecko who has lived for 27 and a half years now, so they can get pretty old. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun learning about leopard geckos with me and Flea, and I hope to see all of you guys again soon. Take care and happy Earth Day, guys! Can you say bye, Flea?